Hello, this is Mr. Watt with another video. This piece of student writing is called The Rights of Industrial Workers, and I'm going to use it to talk about the concept of writing with nouns and verbs. When you write with nouns and verbs, you try to avoid creating awkward constructions that use lots of complicated language. So, for example, ridiculously long hours. Ridiculously and long are both words without very specific meaning. On the other hand, if we put in 18-hour days, we've taken out the words ridiculously and long, and we've specified a specific number of days. Now, 18 hours is probably a lot in terms of the Industrial Revolution, but it's certainly more specific than ridiculously long. The same goes for this word, extremely. Well, when I get extremely upset at my mother, she might start crying because she's extremely upset. But I know other people who, when they get extremely upset, protest in the streets. And so we want to make clear that many factory workers in the 1800s began striking and protesting against their employers. Now we have made very specific claims in this piece of writing simply by adding in actual words as opposed to emotional states. The emotional states might be interesting, but they're not as interesting as people standing out in the streets waving signs and deliberately not showing up for work. Remember also that we want to time lock our writing by putting in dates from time to time. We also would like to distinguish people running factories. Now, people running factories actually have names. They're factory managers. And we've only saved ourselves one word. But there's a real tension in American society between managers and workers. And it's been present for a long time. A tension between the owners of businesses and the people who work in them. And I think that it's important as historians that we own up to that we recognize that that tension exists and we call it by its names. And the names are factory managers and factory workers. That makes it possible for us to change this factory workers to unskilled laborers. And it allows us to put in something like semi-skilled here. I'm going to take both of these out for our purposes because we're talking about writing with nouns and verbs, and both of those are adjectives. The people controlling the machines. Again, are machine operators. And we can simply say machine operators had to work 18-hour days and they were never allowed a break. It's clear that these two sentences actually belong up here because they're about overlooking the rights of workers. And it makes it possible for us also to take this sentence and put it here. And now the contrast is between the workers and their managers and the appearance of immigrants. And this leads to a much stronger piece of writing.